Hey guys, it's Maymay, and if you saw my recent monkey shaker card where he's hanging from the little tree, I made that using Cricut Design Space, and several of you have asked me to show you how to do it, and so what I'm going to do is give you a little tutorial on it. Now, if you want to see the video for the original, how to put the card together, I'm going to link that for you in the description below, and I'll show you a picture of it and all that good stuff so you can see what it looked like. Today, I'm just going to show you how to build that front portion of the shaker card, and that way when you go to make your own, you know how to do it. So it's super easy. The first thing we're going to do is sign into Cricut Design Space and head over here and make sure you're signed in. You can see your name there in that far corner. And then I'm going to click to start a new project. Now you have a couple of ways. Let me show you. You can click on File and tell it New Project, or you can just hit this little plus sign and create a new project. Everybody has their own ways. My hands just kind of lean toward that file all the time. I don't know why. The first thing we need to do is we need to get a shape. So I'm going to come to Insert Shapes and grab a square. Now I'm going to create my own frame by using some squares from the Insert Shapes area, but you could certainly just use the Insert Images and go get a frame that you like. This just works for me. Now I have one square. I'm going to need two squares, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this so I end up with two. It's just super easy to do that to me instead of grabbing another one while I'm in there. So the first square, I have to size it for the front of my card. So I'm going to head over here to the Edit button. And the first thing I want to do is unlock proportions. If I leave this locked, anything I do to the top will proportionately be done to the bottom. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to head up here to the width of our square. And I think for the front of an A2 card, I think I'm going to make this one 3.5 wide. And then for height, I think I'll go 4.5. That should be a pretty good size. And yeah, I like that. So we'll still have some room around our card if we do this in a A2 size card. So now for this guy, I want it to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. Now you can do it a different size if you'd like. I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch. But if you want to do a 1/2 inch size smaller, that'd be fine too. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head over here to my numbers again. And instead of being 3.5 on the top, I'm going to change it to 3.25, and before I head down here I'm going to unlock, and then I'm going to change it to 4.25. That way I'll have just what I'm looking for. Now let me show you why I did this in this this sizing. Notice how when I put these guys on top of each other, I get this 1/4 of an inch frame around the edge. That's what I was looking for because I'm just creating a frame. Now I want to center this piece in the middle so that it is correct all the way around. So here's what you do. This is one of my new favorite features. I'm going to take my cursor to the top left corner. I'm going to click and drag so I know I'm selecting both of these images. And now I'm going to head to this Align button. I'm telling y'all I love this button. I'm going to tell this guy to center. Okay, it's going to do everything in the center. So I've centered this piece in the center of this piece. So now I know that it's exactly where I want it to be. While they're both selected, I'm going to head over here to the Layers button, and I'm going to click Slice. Now this is going to basically just take a slice out of the center in the shape of this piece. So see how we just created a frame? Now, like I said, 1/4 of an inch may be too thin for you, but I'm okay with that. You just have to cut your foam tape or either use some foam tape that's 1/4 of an inch or less. You don't really need this guy anymore unless you want to go ahead and resize it to fit behind here to become sort of the sandwich for your shaker. You can do that if you want, but I just cut it with my paper trimmer. It keeps me from having to load another piece of paper in the Cricut, so I just get rid of this one. Now for the fun part. Let's head out to Insert Images, and we need to find a monkey and a branch. Doesn't that sound like a fun trip? A monkey and a branch. Now I'm going to be using images that are from my subscription service. I pay $9.99 a month and I get the subscription service, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad that I have it. I have not regretted that one single time. And I'm going to type in the word monkey and let it do its thing. Now you don't have to use a monkey. This is something else I was thinking. If you had a stamp set, like one of my stamp sets is called Berry Sentimental. That's one that's in my stamp line. And if you did this with a bear or like a koala bear hanging off a branch, that would be so cute to use a a very special sentiment. There you go. So we're going to basically be creating this dude pretty much. But notice how he's 99 cents. I don't want to pay that. Also, see these guys with the cute little tails? If you wanted to pay for them, you could do that and use them. But we're going to go right down here. And the one that I'm going to use is one that I actually have because he's a creator critter. And so I'm going to click on this little monkey guy. And now I need to find a branch. And this is the cool thing about Cricut Design Space right here. I've clicked him. He's got a green check mark. I can look right down here and see that he is going to carry with me as I keep searching. Okay. So now I'm going to head up here and look for a branch. And let's see what we can find. You wouldn't have to use a branch. You could use a rope. You could use any old thing. You could use one of these leaves that stretches across. I just like the idea of him hanging on a branch. And this is the branch that I use. Now one big reason is because it's in my subscription. Another is I just really liked the straightness of this one and how it left us that gap to kind of hang him in. So I'm going to click on that one. And now I'm ready to go insert both of these guys into the project. Now here's something very important, and I want you to make sure you hear me. Don't ungroup these guys yet. We need to leave them grouped together for now because we want to resize everything all at one time instead of having to come back and resize little portions of it. The only thing I do want to do now is take this branch and mirror it. You do not have to do this. For some reason, my eye thinks that this piece needs to be on the other side. So if you like it just like this, leave it like it is. But I'm just going to click mirror and just switch it around. I don't know why, but I felt like it needed to be switched. Now we're just going to size it to fit our frame. So what I'm going to do is just take it right to the frame. Now one thing I want you to notice is if you mirror an image, your little buttons, your little, I don't really know what these are called, but these little guys that are like useful buttons, they move into a different place. So I'm going to unlock the proportions, but now I'll move it from this side, okay? So I'm just going to shrink this guy down and then move him back into place. And what I'm looking for here is for this leaf and this branch to overlap that frame just slightly, and I think that might have done it. Yep. So you can see when I click out that this branch overlaps and this leaf overlaps, and that's what I'm looking for. Now I want to grab this branch and I want to ungroup it. Now ungrouping is way down here at the bottom of the screen, and you probably can't even see it on my screen because my screen is stretched out so big. But let me show you another thing you can do since we can't see it. You can right click and you'll get the option to ungroup as well. There it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this branch and move it out, well, the leaves first, and move them out of the way. And now the branch. Okay, so we're moving all these goodies out of the way, but they're sized where we want them to be sized. That was the big thing. Now it's time to take these dudes and put them all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cursor to the top left of the images, and I'm just going to drag this blue box around them so I can grab both images. Now I'm going to head over here to layers, and I want to weld this together. And by welding it, these pieces will now cut as one frame. Isn't that cool? I think it is pretty awesome. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to grab this little monkey guy and bring him into place. Now he seems to be a pretty good size, but if you wanted to resize him anyway, you could do that now. If you wanted him to hang really long or be really tiny, whatever you wanted to do, you could change that at this point. Now what I want to do, I grabbed the frame instead of him. If that ever happens, let me show you something. See how when I clicked I got the frame? That's because he's behind. Can you see how he's behind it? Just come right up here to arrange and tell it to move to the back. And now that frame has gone to the back and he's in the front, so now I can grab him. Just got to turn off that front and get out of that frame first. All right, now what I want to do, since he's the right size, is I want to ungroup him. So I'm going to go down here to ungroup. And I'm going to grab his outer layer and move it to the side. And then grab his little inner layer and move it to the side. And now I want to take this guy and weld it to this. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Cursor in the top left corner, drag a blue box around these two images, and I'm going to weld them together. Now here's what's important. I'm using two images, remember, because we welded this one into one first, and then we welded this guy on. Now here's the cool thing. All these pieces, when we cut, will layer right on top of this guy. That's what makes it look so, I guess, very... professional's not the word, but it looks very made for this purpose. So when you put this card together, it will be made for it. Now, the only thing you may not like is if you do this way, your leaves, and I probably need to bring these to the front. Let me see if I do. Yeah. Your leaves are not all going to be green. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. Some of them will be green, and some of them will be whatever the color is that you cut your frame in. Okay, I cut my frame in dark brown because I wanted the dark brown of the monkey to show through, and I don't really mind that some of the leaves are brown because not all leaves are green all the time, right? So I'm gonna move this out of the way, and now you know about that. Now, my other favorite part of this whole project was the banana, so let's go to the insert images. I love this little banana so much, it was so cute. And I'm going to search bananas, or just banana, because I just really want one. And I kind of did a little doctoring on this banana. I'll show you what I did. I used this one in my subscription and insert him in. And the first thing I did, while he was still pretty big like this, I went ahead and ungrouped him because I don't want all these pieces. So I took this little piece away and deleted it. I took this little piece away and deleted it, and it left me with this guy, which was perfectly fine for me because by the time these get tiny enough to fit in the shaker area, you wouldn't want to do all those layers. Now I'm just going to shrink this banana down until I like the way it looks in and around this monkey, and I think a little bit smaller, but not too much more, about like that. So that's what I did to make those little bananas to shake around. The next thing I did was come to the top and say copy and paste. And I pasted him I think I pasted him 8 or 10 times. And that way when it cuts, they'll all cut in one big row and we'll get 8 or 10 or ever how many bananas you want. So that is 4. Yeah, that's 8. All right, so when you're ready to cut this, I want to show what it looks like when you go to your mat. By the way, let's do this real quick. I want to show you how to save this file. To save this file so you can use it in the future, go up here to this little what is a disk and click save. It's going to open up all your projects. If you ever had a project you wanted to share with somebody, you want to make sure that this is clicked on public. As long as it says public, you can share the link. I'm going to call this Monkey Shaker Card 2 because I've already made it once. You see that there? So that way we'll have another one, and click save. Now then, if you wanted to share this with someone that had all the same subscriptions that you have, or didn't mind paying for what images they don't have, you just come right up here and you just copy this URL and you can share that with anybody you want to, and that's a public file if you want to share it. If you don't want to share it, it's just yours, and you can make it private as well. All right, let's click go, and I'll show you how this lays out on your mats. So you can see you're going to have the one little brown branch, and then this little guy's going to cut, and then the leaves, and then the trim of the monkey, and then the bananas, and then him. Now notice how they're just one little pieces on big old mats. Let's go back and I'll show you a way to fix that. Now let's say you wanted to use one mat. You just wanted to load it one time. The way you do that is to make all of these items the same color. And here's what you do. You head over to sync. And you see how everything is in a different row right now? To make everything the same color, you're going to grab one image and move it to the other. And then grab this image and move it to the other. And then this one. You're just basically going to grab each one and move them to the one above. By doing this, you're telling the Cricut that you're only going to cut on one mat. So now let's go look at it. Look at this. Now everything goes on one mat. So when you put your paper on, you'll make sure that your paper fits to where these guys are. Now I don't remember. Yes, you can move them around at this point. I thought it was this point. So if you wanted to spread these guys out so you knew that wherever you were putting the paper, for example, let's say you take this guy and put him in this far corner, and then you take this guy and put him in this far corner, and then you know where you're putting your paper. I wouldn't move those bananas. I'd probably just stick some paper there so you wouldn't have to move all of these guys. And somehow we got a rogue banana up there. Let's put him down here. So this way you can move them around, so when you get ready to hit go, you're only going to load your mat one time and all your papers will be in the different places. I hope that makes sense. I think it does. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change these guys back to their individual colors, and that way whenever you get it, if you decide you want to sync it, you can, but if you want to leave it separated, you can do that too, because I'm going to share this file with you. I'll link it below. Now remember, this is just the front portion. To make the shaker card, you'll need a piece of clear acetate, some foam tape, and then a backer for this, and you'll learn how to do that in the video that I've linked below that already shows you how to assemble the card. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Before you go, check out these other projects, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video you saw today, be sure to let others know by giving me a thumbs up. And follow me around on social media. The links to all my social medias are listed in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and until we craft again, have a great day.